Structuring assignment. It's a way to unpack values from arrays or properties from objects and assign them to variables in a clean, concise manner. It essentially lets you extract multiple pieces of data from a single array or object. So imagine you have an array and you want to assign some of its values to a local variable. One approach is to assign each variable by referencing the index in that array. This works just fine, but as you can see, this can become quite repetitive, especially if there are many elements that need to be accessed. With Destructuring, we could do the same thing with just one line of code. By using the brackets after const, we can assign a variable name to each index in that array. Just make sure the position of the variable matches the values in the index. When working with arrays, we may want to omit a variable. You could do so by adding a comma, then excluding the variable name to skip that index. We can rename the extracted variables to something else as well. This is especially helpful if we already have a variable with the same name or we want to rename it to something more meaningful. In some cases, you may want to grab the first couple of variables, then put the remainder in its own array. You could do so by using the rest operator. Now, the structuring isn't just for arrays, but it's also for objects. Here we have a user object that represents the name, age, and email of a user. As you can see, this requires duplicating the object property name as a variable with the dot notation. A better approach would be to put the braces after const, and we can reference the property names, which become local variables. If a rename is required, then we'll just need to add a colon after the property name. This is helpful when dealing with name collisions or we need to rename it to something more meaningful. In addition to renaming, we can also include a colon to access nested properties. This is similar to working with data received from an API or JSON return data. This way, we can only display relevant data to the user.